What's going on, True Combat King family? How you doing today? It's your host, Rary187, and I am accompanied today by my main man, Big Bird. How you doing today, Big Bird?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Pretty well, thank you for asking. And also Sensei Star. How you doing, Sensei?
I'm good, Roro. Thanks.
Excellent. Well, the reason for us being here tonight is to inform you guys of the current political polls in the True Combat King family. So first thing first, let's go ahead and talk about the most immediate and probably the most important election. If you guys had to take a guess, take a stab at it right now, who would you say is running the polls?
Mm,
I mean, just really fast, you guys. Come on, pick somebody.
say big.
Okay, what about you, Sensei?
I would actually go for game, only
All
because,
right.
to be fair, I'm not too familiar with Vic. I'm not sure what he's done before in the past. I'm a fairly new TTK member, so I don't really know his pedigree. But I do know game.
I do understand. I do understand. Well, the question is how much have you guys been voting for each candidate? Because as of right now, Bick is currently sitting at 63% of the polls. Gameaholic is sitting at 31%, and my man Yar Yar is sitting at 6% of the polls. So if we're going to see Gameaholic make it to president, then there's going to have to be a lot more votes being cast in his favor. What do you guys think is Bick's formula right now for his success?
Um, that's a tough call.
Yeah,
I think that is a tough call in terms of his formula for success at the moment. Maybe it's better the devil you know rather than the devil you don't. Um, it could just be the fact that he is an awesome president. I haven't had, as I say, I haven't had a great deal of contact with him, so I can't really judge based on personal experience. What I do know is game is logical. I speak to him a lot more. He's more accessible, as far as I can tell, as well. Um, and I'd like to see him as president, but in terms of voting, I think Bick maybe just leads the polls because uh, he's been good. He's been good. I can't deny that. I don't really have anyone saying anything bad about him in the chat rooms and everything like that. So yeah, why not keep him on as president? A new
excellent,
face, a new name could turn out good or bad.
excellent. Well, let's move on down the line, shall we? Let's take a look here. Next one's gonna be our vice presidential seat. Now, this one's the one that's kind of a topic of discussion. This is the weird one, if you ask me. Now, we all know the candidates. We have Dan, Gameaholic, and Big Bird, and Crummy. So, based out of these statistics that we currently have here, I don't really want to tell you who's running what right now, but I just want you guys to take a couple of guesses at everything. I mean, who do you think is in first place to become vice president for next year?
I'm gonna have to go with my boy Dan.
Okay. And what about you, Sensei?
I would say it's probably close between Dan and Game. Um, but I'd wager a bet that Crummy actually has a fair few votes in there as well.
Well, if I had to break down the stats right now, I would say that Dan is sitting at 75% of the votes, Gameaholic is sitting at 26%, and Big Bird actually has 3%, and Crummy has 2% of all the votes cast right now. So I guess the funny thing that the statistics are saying right now is that Gameaholic is really fighting for that presidential seat. I mean, he's definitely made some strides since the last time we've had this conversation. I think he only had like roughly 11%, if that even. So if Game is going to become president, then he definitely needs to have his people step up and represent a little bit more. But, as it stands of right now, everyone is leaning strongly towards TCK Dan as a vice president. And I'm just wondering how would the family feel if Gameaholic did not become president?
Ooh.
You know, because this is a real
Hmm.
possibility right now that the family needs to kind of confront. I mean, the votes don't lie, and as we do our political process, it's ultimately going to be who put in the most time, who put in the most energy to get their party to where they want their party to be. So, I mean, what do you think,
I
Big
think
Bird?
that's a real good point.
Okay, what's going on? Talk to me.
No, I just think that's a real good point. Do you know what? When we were going through the whole voting situation, I figured Game would either be president or he would be vice president. I never
Yeah.
considered a TCK where he wasn't actually on the presidential staff. So that concerns me. And that may be the kick up my ass that's needed to just boot me into action.
Well, hopefully a lot of other TCK members feel the same way because right now every individual has a say so in the family. And it's critical that every individual understands that it's up to you to actually change how things are going or keep things the same. But no one's going to do it for us, though. Not a single person. So, if you are watching this at home and you do feel like we're talking to you right now, please understand that we're trusting you and we're expecting you to pull your weight in the family and make sure that the family goes the way that you want it to go. Because right now, the future is totally undecided. So moving around and talking about some of the, more random topics. Let's take a look here. As it stands of right now, who do you think is the best performing member in TCK in your own opinion?
Ooh.
Fine performing.
Well, the difference between a performing member and an active member is an active member is someone who just shows up to meetings, classes, house events. They're active in the family, which is always a great thing. But a performing member is someone that is capable of holding up to their reputation of their house in that game. Not necessarily their
Ooh.
lethality or anything, but their ability to perform their house job.
I would say, and this is me doffing my cap to my yellow-feathered friend over there, um, that actually all of the top candidates are going to be coming from infantry. So
Huh.
I would actually wager that people like Reactions, who is just a complete beast at the game, um, those types of people who will just get kills. We Devious Devil makes the call outs, it makes the kills, it gets the assists, he goes for the objective, um, real good communication. Those types of people would actually be at the forefront, forerunners in terms of the polls.
Yeah, but we can't forget about Guardians. There are some
That's
great
true.
Guardians over there. Infantry, we do one hell of a job, but we can't do it without Guardians guarding our base.
Amen. And I'm not going to really
Every
get
time a
into the
Guardian,
statistics of this one. But go ahead, Big Bird. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
I was gonna say each time we have Guardians on, I don't even have to tell them what to do. They already know what to do at their base. They know that their base is their base. No one gets in, no one gets out. Like without them, infantry's just a bunch of killing machines. That's
I can
pretty much
agree
all
with
I had
that.
to say.
Well, I can totally agree with that. I mean, and we have to kind of look at some of the higher positions as well. I mean, performing members, these are people that are capable of doing more than one job on the battlefield. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
can kind of expect them to be a guardian and a watcher at the same time, or you can expect them to be driving a warthog and being prepared to capture the flag at the same time. I mean, I don't know. I think showing that versatility, but at the same time showing that you're able to keep it within the limits of your wing and more so within the respects of your house is really what's going to decide this position. I mean, what do you guys think? What's your opinion?
I think that's a real sensible way to look at it. Yeah, of course, we talk about members, and usually when we say members, we think about, the people who are under the command of the higher tiers in TCK. But members includes everyone. Members includes everyone in TCK. Everyone is a member of TCK, and so the best performing. It depends on your role, doesn't it? It depends on your role and how well you fulfill that role.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
and yeah, so that actually broadens it in terms of my thinking. The way I voted was specifically for those that I've seen on the ground, boots on the ground, and getting the job done as they should in their roles. But maybe I should expand my thinking. Maybe I should expand my search parameters for the one who is performing their roles, their duties, and calling out, making the shots, calling the shots, and getting their team to act as one cohesive killing machine.
Amen on that one.
Here, here. Well, gentlemen, that's about all the time we have for this show. Do you guys have any recommendations for the members at home watching right now? Um, Anything that you guys like to say about the political process or anything at all before you exit?
Yeah,
Mm.
I'll say it's it's easy. Just jump online, jump on the website, get voting. Um, 3, 4 pages, just a few questions that are answering. Type some names in of who's your favorite, who you think should win in the various categories, and that's it. Job done. If you feel strongly about it, keep voting. Make sure you just keep doing it over and over and over again, and yeah, make it happen, guys. Make it your TCK.
Now, just so you guys know, I have some statistical data for you guys about the voting process. Um, According to our votes on Saturday and Sunday, on average, it takes about 12 seconds. That's all. But if you look at the later votes cast throughout the week, where people might just be at work or something like that, it's taking an average of about 22 seconds. So either way you look at that, you guys, 22 seconds, 11 seconds, 11 seconds, 22 seconds. It's not that much time out of your day to cast a vote for the person you really want in office. Big Bird, what did you have to say?
You guys pretty much covered it. The only thing I was gonna say is, remember, your vote counts. So if you don't vote, we won't know.
Yeah, vote or die, like the Americans say. But except in TCK, we're serious. We will find and kill you. You will vote or you will freaking die. We will put your Spartan in front of Big Bird's Warthog and we will run you over. So if you're watching this, tell your friends, vote or die. You see Big Bird, he really got that look of blood in his eye. Okay, you gonna shoot him first? You gonna shoot him? We will kill you. We will kill you. We ain't playing in this mug, man. We ain't playing. Sorry. But TCK, that's about all we got time for today, you guys. And it's been a real pleasure having you guys. It's been a real pleasure talking today. Thank you guys. I want to give a special shout out once again to Big Bird and to Sensei, my two very special guests. So we'll see you guys in a couple more days on our I don't know what should we call this? Vote for the presidency, or we'll come up with a better name by next episode. You guys have a good night.